Hi guys, welcome to section 1.1 to 1.2 notes. Today we're going to be learning about fractions, distribution, evaluating expressions, and combining like terms. So let's get started. So evaluating a quadratic expression, what you're going to do here, I would highly suggest whenever you see the word evaluating, I want you guys to put those numbers in for the variables in parentheses. That's going to guarantee that you're going to have less of a chance to get the signs wrong. And just a little bit of a sign, like a -2 to a +2, is a big difference in this class. So make sure you guys are really getting these basic skills honed down before we start getting into like real big content. So for number 1, it says evaluate the expression when c equals -4. All you're going to do is replace c in this with -4, but in parentheses to make sure you guys are understanding the different signs. So -4 squared is +16, -28 to -6. You just do PEMDAS left to right, and you should get -18 as your final answer. Again, please recall that -4 quantity squared and -4 just squared are two completely separate problems. That's why I tell you guys and encourage you to please put things in parentheses. -4 quantity squared is +16. -4 squared without parentheses, you do the 4 squared part first because it's PEMDAS, it's an exponent, and then you multiply the negative at the end. So this is actually -16. So big, huge difference. You guys need to understand that. That's why I say do it in parentheses. Number 2, we're just replacing a with -2. So please put it in with parentheses, get in the habit. So this is what you should have once you replace a with -2. Just evaluate, so you should get 4. And then +12 minus 5. And this comes out to 11. Number 3, we were replacing all the c's with 5. And nothing too bad here. I still want you to use parentheses in case there's a negative, like for example, the -7. Just be careful, just get in the habit, no matter if it's positive or negative, to use parentheses. So this will be 25 minus 35 minus 6. So you'll get -16 as your final answer. So that is evaluating. Just a quick preview. Again, we should all know this already. This should just be review for right now. As well as fractions. So fractions, I know we don't like them, but we need to get good at them. They exist so much in this class, so we need to understand how to simplify them, add, subtract them, all the fun stuff before it gets in your way of getting a good grade in this class. So again, just replace your x's and your y's with whatever it tells you to first, and then I'll teach you how to actually simplify these problems. So replace y, replace x with whatever it told you to. Now we're going to multiply. So 2 is actually technically 2/1. So if I want to cross simplify, this is what I'm going to do. 2 goes into 8, obviously 4 times, and then we're going to multiply across. So we're going to multiply, So you have -1 technically here, and 3, so it's going to be 3 on top. And then on the bottom, you multiply across again when you're doing fractions. So 1 times 4 is 4, and we still have the 6/7. Now we're adding fractions, and we know we need to have common denominators. So our common denominator here is going to be 28. So I need to multiply the first fraction by 7, the second fraction by 4. And now that they have the same denominator, we just can add the tops together, and we should get 3/28 as our final answer. I'm probably going faster than I think that you guys can. Just make sure you guys are obviously taking your time if you need to with adding, multiplying, and all that fun stuff. Okay, number 2. Again, first replace everything, and then we'll start multiplying and adding. So replace the x with -2/7. And then the b, again, even though it's fractions, we're still doing everything in parentheses, always being consistent with your math. So obviously 5 is over 1, but there's nothing to cross out. Like 5 doesn't go into 7, so nothing is can help us there. So we're just going to multiply across for that first fraction here to simplify that. So you multiply across, -5 times -2 is +10. And then we get 7, and then -9 over 14. So we're going to have a common denominator of 14, so we just have to change that first fraction. So we go to multiply everything by 2. And now that they have the same denominator, we obviously just subtract the top to get 11 over 14. All right, try number 3 all by yourself. Pause here, and then please press play again when you are ready for the answer. All right, number 3, you should have gotten -31 over 30 for your final answer. All right, lastly, we're just going to go over distribution and combining like terms very quickly. So number 1 looks just like what we did above. Just a quick note on this. So these are variables. They have different fractional denominators. So what we're going to do first is just create common denominators. So we're going to create a common denominator of 15. So that would be 10 over 15 for the first one and 3 over 15 for the second one. We subtract the top to get 7 over 15. Okay, so the only thing I wanted to write here is that B can either be like on push to the right-hand side like it's written there. This is the exact same thing as writing 7b over 15. These are the exact same thing. So make sure you guys are understanding, like if Alex gives you one of these options or a test I write gives you one of these options, these mean the exact same thing. So just understand that when we're dealing with variables. Number 2, so we just need common denominators to add these fractions. So I just need to change the first one to have a denominator of 8. So we multiply top and bottom by 2. So we'll get 7/8 v, again, also known as 7v over 8, exact same thing. Okay, we're just going to be combining like terms for number 3. So a like term is something that has the same variables and same power of the exponent. So UW here is the same term as negative UW here, and then the U's will be a like term as well. So combining these together, we have a -1 and a -1 added together would be a -2 UW. If I add -5 and 3, I should get -2. Number 4, we're just distributing. Just make sure you get, of course, really careful with your negative signs. So we're going to apply this negative number to both. So we get 4v plus w. And we get very careful here. So -24w minus 24v. Now we see what's alike. So we have the v's being the same here, and the w's being the same. And all we have to do is just add their coefficients. So we're going to get -20v and then -23w. And of course, with these, you guys should know that you can write it out of order. There's no necessarily correct order. We do like to say alphabetical order is usually more standard, but nothing, I'll tell you guys when we're going to be strict on a certain form, but this is, we can accept either answer. And then lastly, number 5, we're just using distribution, but with fractions, but same idea as we did above. 15 is also known as 15 over 1, if that helps you to see that you can easily cross cancel or reduce. 5 into 15 is 3 times. So now I just have to multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. And the ones are below, so we just can use 6 and don't have to put it over anything. And then what we have to do is forget that that had canceled out. And then we also have to do 15 times 3, which is 45v. And then pause here and try number 6 all by yourselves. All right, number 6. All you're going to do is multiply this 2/3 to each of the 6W and the 9. I actually have the back part wrong because you see like I did a careless error that some people do is that they forget about that back number at all. So the 2/3 to the 6, so if you do this, you're going to get 4W like I did below. Then you also have to do 2/3 times -9. So 3 goes into -9, -3 times, and 2 times -3 is 6. So this should be 6 on the end of this problem. And you are all done with learning about 1-1 to 1-2.